Claude Code just became a professional web designer. It can now pull from over 600,000 real designs, onboarding pages, pricing pages, landing pages, from real apps people use every single day. If you've been wondering how to actually make money with AI as a complete beginner, this is the opportunity. Businesses pay $500 to $3,000 for the kind of website this builds. And until now, the thing stopping you wasn't the code. Claude handles that. It was that the results looked AI generated. That's over. This is the full deep dive. By the end, you'll know exactly what this tool is, how to set it up in about 10 minutes, the complete workflow from an empty folder to a live website. I'll walk through a real example step by step, and the part most videos skip entirely: how to find your first paying client, what to charge, and the exact message to send a local business. Word for word, no hype, no shortcuts, and I'll tell you exactly what it costs because it isn't free. Let's start with what this thing actually is. So, what is an MCP? Forget the acronym. An MCP is a plugin that gives Claude a new ability it didn't have before. That's it. Some plugins let Claude read your email. Some let it browse the web. This one, the Mobbin MCP, hands Claude a design library, and not a small one. Mobbin is a service that screenshots and catalogs the designs of real successful apps and websites. Over 600,000 screens, onboarding flows from banking apps, pricing pages from software companies, landing pages that real businesses paid real designers to build. Designers have used Mobbin for years as their reference shelf. Here's why that matters. Claude Code could already build you a website. The code part was never the problem. The problem was taste. Ask a plain AI for a website and you get that generic AI look. Centered hero text, 3 feature cards, purple gradient. People can smell it instantly. And get this, with the Mobbin MCP connected, Claude stops guessing what good design looks like and starts referencing what good design actually is. It pulls 3 or 4 real examples in your niche, studies the layout, the spacing, the way sections flow, and builds your site on those patterns. The old way, you either learned design for years or paid a designer thousands. The new way, Claude references 600,000 professional designs on demand. That gap between what businesses pay for a website and what it now takes to build one, that's your opportunity. But first, the setup. Let's set this up. You need 2 things installed, and the whole process is about 10 minutes, even if you've never touched a terminal. Thing number 1, Claude Code. Go to claude.com, find Claude Code, and follow the install for your computer. Windows, Mac, both work. It's a one-line install command, and the site shows it to you. When it's done, you open a terminal, type Claude, and you're talking to it. If you can type a message, you can use it. You never write code yourself. You describe, it builds. Thing number 2, the Mobbin MCP. Head to mobbin.com SMCP page. They give you the exact connection command to copy, 1 line. You paste that into your terminal, and that's the moment Claude gets its design library. I'm putting the address on screen so you can pause right here. Now verify it worked. Open Claude Code and literally ask it, search Mobbin for dental clinic landing pages. If it comes back describing real designs, names, layouts, patterns, you're connected. If it doesn't, restart Claude Code and check the command once more. That solves it 9 times out of 10. One honest note before you install, and I'll break down the full numbers near the end. Claude Code wants a Claude Pro subscription, which is $20 a month, and the Mobbin MCP requires a paid Mobbin plan. MCP Access comes with all their paid tiers. Keep that in mind. We'll talk about why one single client covers months of both. That's the entire setup. No frameworks, no hosting accounts yet, no design software. A terminal, 2 subscriptions, 10 minutes. Now let me show you the workflow that actually sells with a real example. Let's build something real. A website for a local dental clinic. Watch how each step works. This same recipe applies to gyms, restaurants, law offices, any local business. Step 1. Pick the niche and gather references. You open Claude Code in an empty folder and say, search Mobbin for modern dental and healthcare landing pages. Pull the 3 best examples and describe what makes them work. Claude comes back with real designs. Maybe a clean medical booking page, a health startup with calm colors and big friendly type, a clinic site with the appointment button always visible. You just skipped the part where you needed design taste. The taste is borrowed from designs that already work. Step 2, the build prompt. Now you say something like, build a single-page website for Brightside Dental, a family dental clinic. Use these 3 references for layout and feel, sections, hero with a book an appointment button, services, about the dentist, patient reviews, contact with a map placeholder, calm blues, lots of white space, mobile first. Then you press enter and watch it work. It writes the structure, the styles, the responsive layout. A couple of minutes of it just typing. Step 3. Iterate twice. The first version will be about 80% right. This is where you earn your money and it's still just talking. Make the hero photo full width. Reviews should be cards, not a list. The phone number needs to be tappable on mobile. Round 2. Tighten the spacing on services and make the booking button follow you as you scroll. 2 rounds of feedback is usually the difference between AI made this and a designer made this. Step 4. Put it live for free. Ask Claude, deploy this site for free and give me a public link. It'll walk you through a free host like GitHub Pages or Netlify. Both cost nothing for sites like this, and hand you a live URL you can send to anyone. And get this, when the client wants their own domain later, connecting one is a 10-minute job Claude also talks you through. The domain itself runs maybe $10 to $15 a year. Total time for your first site, honestly, maybe 2 hours, including the fumbling. Your 5th site? Under 1 hour. An agency would quote this exact deliverable at $1,500 and 3 weeks. One more thing before we leave the workflow, because a real client will do this to you. They'll come back after delivery and say, can we make the logo bigger? Can we add a photo of the office? Can we change that headline? This used to be the painful part of web work. Now, each of those is 1 sentence to Claude and 2 minutes of your time. Build 1 free round of small changes into your offer. It makes you look generous, and it costs you almost nothing. Anything bigger than small changes. That's a new quote. Say it kindly. Say it early. And notice what just happened. The same recipe works for the gym, the restaurant, the law office. Only the references change. You'd pull fitness designs for the gym, menu-forward layouts for the restaurant. The recipe is the asset. So now you can produce the thing. The skill that pays isn't the building. It's knowing this recipe and executing it cleanly on demand. Which brings us to the question this whole video exists to answer. Where does the money actually come from? Let's talk about the money. Nobody pays for a website because it's AI generated. They pay because their current site embarrasses them. Hold that thought because it decides where you look and what you say. Where beginners actually find the first client. 3 places, in order. Number 1, local businesses with dated websites. Open your town's map listings and click through the websites of dentists, gyms, salons, restaurants, plumbers. You will find sites that haven't been touched in 10 years, not mobile-friendly, broken menus, photos from another decade. Every one of those is a warm lead because the owner already knows it's bad. They're just convinced fixing it costs thousands. And here's the 10-second test for spotting them. Open the site on your phone. If you have to pinch and zoom to read anything, if the menu doesn't work with your thumb, or if there's a copyright year at the bottom from 5 years ago, that's your lead. Screenshot it. You'll use that screenshot later. Number 2, Facebook community groups. Local business owners ask for website help in town groups constantly. Answer 2 or 3 of those posts with a link to your work, and you're often the only person who replied with proof instead of promises. Number 3, freelance platforms, Upwork, Fiverr, specifically the listings that say website redesign. Redesigns are perfect for this workflow. The content already exists. They're paying for taste and speed, which is exactly what Mobbin plus Claude gives you. Now the pricing ladder. Don't skip steps. Your first 2 sites, $300 to $500 each. Yes, that's underpriced. That's the point. At this stage, you're buying 2 things money can't otherwise get you: reviews and before and after screenshots. After those 2 projects, you raise to $1,000 to $1,500 per site. And that's honest market pricing for what you're delivering. You have proof, you have process, and you're still cheaper and 10 times faster than an agency. 2 sites at $400, then 3 sites at $1,200. That's $4,400 in your first stretch doing this. Realistic numbers, not screenshots of a Lamborghini numbers. But knowing where to look isn't the hard part for most people. It's what to say. Here's the exact message to send a local business. Say it's that dental clinic with the dated site. You email or message the owner. Hi, I was looking up dentists in the area and came across your site. You have great reviews, but the website doesn't do them justice, especially on a phone, and that's where most patients will find you. I build modern, mobile-friendly sites for local practices. practices. I went ahead and made a quick sample of what your homepage could look like. No strings attached. Link below. If you like the direction, I can have the full site live in under a week for a flat $400. If not, keep the sample with my compliments. Notice what that message never says. AI, Claude, MCP, technology, nothing. You sell the result. And the secret weapon in there is the sample. It costs you maybe 1 hour with this workflow, and it flips the entire conversation. Everyone else is asking for a chance. You're showing finished work. That before and after, old site next to your sample, closes more deals than any sales pitch you could learn. Now, the objection you'll hear most. I already have a website. Never argue with it. Agree and pivot. You do, and it worked great for years. It's just built for desktop, and most of your patients are finding you on their phones now. Pull it up on yours real quick. I'll wait. Their own phone does the selling. You stay the helpful expert, not the pushy salesperson. One more script because most people give up one message too early, the follow-up. If you hear nothing after 3 or 4 days, send exactly this. Hi, just floating this back up, no pressure at all. The sample's still yours either way. If the timing's bad, want me to check back next month? That's it. Short, zero guilt gives them an easy out, and it roughly doubles your reply rate because business owners aren't ignoring you. They're busy. One follow-up, then you move on. Never two. And after every single delivered site, one sentence. This is the referral ask. If you know one other business owner who'd want this, send them my way and I'll take $100 off their build. Local business owners all know each other. Your third client usually comes from your first. Time for the honest math, because this is not free and I won't pretend it is. The costs. Claude Pro at $20 a month. A paid Mobbin plan for the MCP access. Hosting. $0 on the free tiers we covered. So you're realistically in for roughly $50 to $60 a month of tooling while you're actively building. Now weigh that against the latter. Your very first underpriced $400 site covers over half a year of the entire stack. One client. That's the whole business case, and it's why I'm comfortable telling beginners about the subscriptions up front. The limits. Because there are 3. Number 1, you still review every page before a client sees it. Claude is your builder, not your quality control. Read the copy, click every link, load it on your own phone. Number 2, custom backend work, patient portals, booking systems, online stores with inventory. That's a different service at a different price. Know where your offer ends. Say, that's phase 2, and charge for phase 2. Number 3, your first project will feel clumsy. That's normal. The recipe carries you through it, and by site number 3, you'll wonder why anyone pays $3,000 for this. So here's your first week, concretely. Day 1, set up Claude Code and the Mobbin MCP. 10 minutes, we covered it. Days 2 and 3, build one practice site for a made-up business, start to finish. So the recipe is in your hands and not just in your head. Day 4, find 5 dated local sites with the phone test. Day 5, build one free sample for the best one and send the message, the exact words from earlier. That's the whole plan. 1 week, 1 sample, 1 message sent. Most people watching this will do none of it, which is exactly why it works for the ones who do. If you want the full beginner path to earning with Claude, watch the 3 realistic strategies video next. This is strategy 1 on steroids. Drop a like if this opened your eyes and subscribe. Realistic AI income methods, no hype every week. See you in the next one.